It is great to own the most powerful rocket in operation because it means your company will get the juiciest of launch contracts. However, as SpaceX will tell you, what is not so great is having the most powerful rocket in operation laying dormant for years. That has been the unfortunate story of the Falcon Heavy, developed and operated by SpaceX. However, in this month of July, space fans will be able to watch the Falcon Heavy in action again as it roars back to life. The mighty rocket is finally launching a payload to orbit in July. What changed at SpaceX for this launch to take place, and what is the rocket launching to orbit? Join us as we explore how SpaceX is finally launching Falcon Heavy to orbit in July 2022. SpaceX is a very busy company these days, and we wonder how the employees are keeping up. On the one hand, the space exploration company is in the thick of developing and testing the most powerful rocket ever built. On the other hand, it is launching payloads to orbit at a breakneck clip. In fact, it could end the year with more than one launch per week. However, none of these two activities involve the most powerful rocket that the company has. The former is the Starship, which SpaceX is racing to get ready in time for NASA's Artemis mission to the Moon, while the latter involves SpaceX's workhorse rocket, the Falcon 9. The Falcon Heavy has been conspicuously missing in action. That is a huge loss to the space industry considering what the rocket is capable of. Falcon Heavy has 3 Falcon 9 9-engine cores whose 27 Merlin engines together generate more than 5 million pounds of thrust at liftoff, equal to approximately 18 747 aircraft. Falcon Heavy has the highest payload capacity of any currently operational launch vehicle. Falcon Heavy is designed to carry 63,800 kilograms to orbit, nearly twice that of its largest competitor, the Boeing company's Delta IV Heavy. Like the Falcon 9, the Falcon Heavy boosters are designed to be reusable, partially reducing the cost of launches for missions. It is 70 meters tall and 12.2 meters wide and weighs a massive 1,420,788 kilograms. While the Starship is deservedly in the spotlight when it comes to missions to Mars, the Falcon Heavy can also launch payloads headed to the Red Planet, although it can only handle 16,800 kilograms of payload. The Merlin engine used by the Falcon Heavy was developed in-house by SpaceX and is shared with the Falcon 9. This rocket engine uses RP-1 and liquid oxygen as a propellant. The company makes 2 types, the sea level and vacuum variants. The sea level version powers the boosters, while the vacuum version propels the upper stage after the separation of the 2 stages. The latter is distinguishable by its height, and SpaceX claims it is the most efficient American-made hydrocarbon rocket engine on its website. The Falcon Heavy has flown a total of 3 times, to the disappointment of fans that had high expectations of the powerful rocket. The third and final launch held much promise as SpaceX tried many new things with the mission. That was back in June 2019, making it more than 3 years that the Falcon Heavy has been resting. That last flight was SpaceX's first nighttime launch and the first time the company reused boosters. Only the central booster was new on that mission. The final mission carried payloads for important customers, including the Department of Defense, NASA, and the US Air Force, making it a rideshare. There was also a payload from the Planetary Society, a solar-powered light sail too. So just why has the Falcon Heavy rocket not been flying for 36 months? Interestingly, it is due to no fault of SpaceX. However, the rocket was not entirely new to delays, as SpaceX did indefinitely delay it during development while it focused on other things. Even after the first version made its debut, launching Musk's personal Tesla Roadster to space, SpaceX decided to upgrade the rocket to use the latest Falcon Block 5 variant, a process that took months. And it seems the spirit of delay has not yet departed from the Falcon Heavy, as all the payloads scheduled for a launch atop it have experienced major delays. The latest mission meant for the Falcon Heavy that has been delayed is the Psyche, meant to investigate an asteroid by the same name. It was meant to launch in 2022, but the failure to verify the readiness of the spacecraft's software means there is no show yet. This delay of months will extend the cruise phase of the mission by years. Cruise phase is the time between launch and arrival at asteroid Psyche. Using this mission as an example, the delay also means the cost of the mission goes up. According to a 2022 survey, the cruise phases of missions of a similar class cost not less than $30 million per year, which means delaying Psyche from 2022 to 23 could potentially add an extra $100 million to the bill for NASA, for a reason you will soon see. This is a particularly painful delay for NASA for another reason apart from money. It was targeting a specific launch window. The August to October 2022 timeframe would have allowed the 2.6-ton spacecraft to enter orbit around Psyche in early 2026. But now, according to the space agency, the best possible backup launch window in 2023 will now delay orbital insertion to 2029 or even 2030, effectively doubling the Psyche spacecraft's cruise time. For SpaceX, the implication is that the Falcon Heavy may not see active use for a longer time regardless of what had happened in the past. And that means the company will continue to accumulate an increasingly absurd fleet of Falcon Heavy boosters that have never been flown because they were made and tested for launch targets that are now years behind schedule. The company now has in storage 9 different Falcon Heavy side and center cores. One of them supported Falcon Heavy Block 5's first 2 2019 launches, but the other 8 are qualified for flight but have never flown. The grounded fleet may even grow to 10 boosters soon, compared to the 11 or fewer active Falcon 9 boosters SpaceX will likely end the year with. In a cruel twist of fate, the Psyche spacecraft was the first and only Falcon Heavy payload to make it to the Kennedy Space Center since 2019, but all that has now amounted to nothing. Meanwhile, Falcon Heavy has other launches lined up. One of them is the record-breaking communication satellite owned by Hughes. There were speculations that the satellite, known as Jupiter 3, would launch on the active Falcon 9, but the company has revealed the Falcon Heavy as the launch vehicle. Of course, the launch has experienced delays too, as the plan was for the second half of 2022, or more precisely, the fourth quarter. Because of delays from the manufacturer, Maxar Jupiter 2 can only be launched in 2023. The Jupiter 2 satellite will weigh about 9.2 metric tons during liftoff, meaning few rockets can launch it. Basically, this ruled out SpaceX's Falcon 9. The heaviest launch handled by the rocket was the Telstar 19V, with a dry weight of 6,700 pounds, about half of Jupiter 3's 12,825 pounds dry mass. In fact, excepting there is some secret military hardware that SpaceX has launched, Jupiter 3 will become the heaviest spacecraft of any kind to be put in geostationary orbit, which is about 36,000 kilometers above the Earth's surface. The satellite will deliver a maximum bandwidth of 500 gigabits per second. Other launches slated for Falcon Heavy include NASA's most expensive telescope. This contract basically fell into SpaceX's laps, as no other company was bidding for it. This is the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope, NGRST. After NASA successfully delivered the James Webb Space Telescope, the agency has now turned its attention to the next telescope, which will launch within this decade. When launched, the NGRST will complement the JWST because it can serve as a scout in space before the more powerful JWST comes in for a closer study of any exciting find by the smaller telescope. This is expected to play out in the search for exoplanets. With the United Launch Alliance revealing it won't bid, SpaceX is now assured of picking up the contract and launching the NGRST using the Falcon Heavy. NGRST is expected to weigh at least 4.2 tons and cost $4.3 billion. With a tentative launch date in 2027 for the NGRST, the Starship, which will be ready by then, could have been the best for the launch. However, NASA has a general rule of awarding high-value launch contracts to only rockets that have already been certified. This same rule prevents other rockets like Blue Origin's New Glenn and Relativity Space's Terran R from competing. However, Falcon Heavy has already been qualified for many NASA launches, including the Psyche mentioned earlier, Viper Moon rover scheduled for the last quarter of 2023, Europa Clipper for the fourth quarter of 2024, and the Halo modules of the Gateway Lunar Space Station in the same quarter. This means SpaceX will have little trouble convincing NASA to launch NGRST on a Falcon Heavy. These launches are aside from the military payloads USSF-44, USSF-52, and USSF-67. All these have faced one delay or another, but are still on the roster for the Falcon Heavy. Let's hear what you think of SpaceX's powerful Falcon Heavy rocket in the comments section below.